Welcome back to the Reseller HQ channel. My name is Derek, and this is episode 10 of our $20 truck challenge. On April 27th, we officially hit our 45-day mark on our challenge to turn a $20 bill into a $30,000 truck. First things first, I want to talk about the current budget. So currently we're sitting at a whopping $720.69, but we also had a few sales over the last couple days I want to talk about. But just as a disclaimer ahead of time, I want to let you know that all of the prices that I'm giving you are what we made after eBay fees and shipping. So first things first, we sold a pair of Noble men's joggers for $10.18. We sold a Korg guitar tuner for $8.23. We picked up a yellow Yeti tumbler at the bins a few weeks back with no lid, but that made a profit of $3.68. And a 2-pack of small ResMed masks, those sold for $15.60. We had an Airthings radon detector, which was $36.19. And finally, a LL Bean toiletry organizer that brought in $10.96. We also had a few low dollar items that sold on Whatnot for a total of $7.23, bringing our total sales with our update from the last video of $92.07, bringing us to a new grand total of $812.76. The real question is, how do we turn that into 30 grand in the next 90 days? So let's talk real quick about how we've performed week over week so far and some of the things we might have to change. So to get an idea of what I would need to make each day to meet my goal, if I were to split it up by each of the 90 days individually, I would need to make $333.33. To put that in perspective, if you divide our current budget by 45 days, we're currently making around $18.06 per day. Now, obviously starting with a $20 bill and getting to that $300 a day is super tough. So let's talk about how each week went so far, and then we'll also talk about how much we've been growing week over week. So I'm not going to get into the super nitty gritty, the profit of each item, what the best item each week was, but I will tell you the actual number that we made in each week. I went back through, I checked my eBay account, I checked Whatnot, I checked Poshmark to make sure that I had all of the information and all of the data so far. So week one was a pretty slow start, to be completely honest. We only had a $20 budget to work with, but we had 2 sales for $73.22. Week 2 looked a little better with sales from both eBay and Whatnot for a total of $144.33. Week 3 is where things really started heating up with even more sales from eBay and Whatnot with a total revenue of $204.22. So I had a little bit of a bigger budget to work with in week 4, which was great. So I was able to pay up and get some better items, but unfortunately some of the items ended up selling for nearly nothing on Whatnot. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But we ended the week with a rough $170.09. So the first week that we actually went down from the previous week. And then week 5 was even worse, unfortunately, with a bigger dip in sales, bringing us down to roughly only $104.67. But the good news about that is that led us into week 6, where we had a huge improvement and blew all the other weeks out of the water by far, with a whopping sales number of $689.39 in a single week. Our total revenue comes out to $1,281.25 over the first 6 weeks of the challenge. Whoa. Which I would say is decent, but we can really step it up from here. I think we can really improve and bring ourselves to make some more money in the future and really get bigger flips where we're buying stuff for $100 and turning it into $500. Stuff like that is what we're going to need to do on a weekly basis, multiple times a week, in order to even make this close to where we should be. So obviously my budget differs from the total revenue that we had. So the discrepancy there is just any type of return I might have had, which I talked about in my last video. We had our first return. And I just want to point out, obviously the number of our total revenue that we made after shipping and fees is going to be completely different from our current budget because we have to spend some of our current budget in order to get that. So that's where that difference comes from, just in case that wasn't clear. I do have 3 really big ideas that I think will actually change the course of this project. So my first idea is to lower my buy it now prices on eBay to get a little bit more competitive. It's not worth sitting on anything longer than 10 days in my opinion, which is even long for that. because it does tie up money in the long run, and we can always reinvest that money into something bigger and better. Second thing off, I did want to apologize to all the people that watch me on Whatnot. I know you guys come to me for the incredible deals. There's like 3 to 5 of you that show up for almost every show, and I really do appreciate you. But unfortunately, I am actually selling these things for less money than I paid for them. So unfortunately, that's just no way to run a business. That's basically like if I was the captain of a ship and I had people bucketing out water up front, but then there's a crack in the back, slowly letting water leak back into the ship and sink the ship. That's exactly what's happening here. I'm essentially getting most of the water out and making more money, but on the back end, I'm losing money on Whatnot just to run these shows for super cheap. So I do think that because we only attract maybe 5 to 15 people at a time for a show, I think the $2 starts really are not working. I think we could have a variable start for some of the stuff, and obviously start the things at super cheap, but still to a point where I'm actually making money and making it worth my time. If I'm selling something that I paid $4 for $2, for example, I had this Bulbasaur plush that I sold for only $2 after paying $4 for it at the thrift store. I'm not only losing $2, I'm also losing the fees, I'm losing the shipping time and the time that I put into curating that item that I probably could have gotten $20 to $25 on eBay for. So I'm thinking to myself, if I start that at anywhere from $8 to $10 to $12, I could probably end up making a little bit less money, but at the same time, I'm selling these things for a profit and getting money back into my pocket almost immediately. It's just unfortunate that being such a small creator, I'm not able to attract more people to the shows, to get things to be a little bit more valuable, to make this challenge a little bit easier on me, but it's a challenge. Why would I want it to be easy? The third thing is I'm currently on the hunt for clean and well organized storage units, but the competition in my area is absolutely crazy. For example, I'll show you one that I was bidding on prior to putting this video out and actually ended yesterday. And I looked at the final selling price of $900 and some odd, and I just thought that was insane because when I was looking at it in less than 12 hours before it actually sold, the highest bid I think was somewhere in the $260 to $300 range. So to see it go up that much just in the last day is unfortunate. So hopefully we can find some deals. We might have to get something a little bit messier in order to get our hands on it. But I think a large pallets of return goods are going to be where our money's at. I don't know if you guys watch a fellow YouTuber of mine. His name is Mission Side Hustle. He has this mission to turn $500 into a $1 million net worth for his YouTube channel and himself. I think that's really cool idea and a little bit of too big of a goal for me right now. But I think the idea of that is incredible. So he talks about how return pallets are incredibly good, how you can get it cleaned up, flip stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So I think I do live in a good area that has money that I could definitely get some extra value out of. That's all I got for you today, guys, but I really appreciate you watching the video today. If you have any suggestions for future videos or anything like that, please feel free to leave them down below. Last time I did a comment like that in the comment section, I got a lot of positive feedback and a lot of constructive criticism, which I don't take to heart in any way. I am always looking for ways to improve my video. So I do appreciate you guys commenting down below and taking the time to help engage with the video and get the video boosted and out to other people, because I'm doing this to show people that it is possible to make some extra money, turn something as simple as a $20 bill into a truck maybe eventually down the road. We'll have to see how the next 45 days go. But if you, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below, leave a comment, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're halfway there. Let's get it. We're going to finish this series up, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.